Get off the porch. This isn't your property, she shrieked, jabbing a shaky finger at me like she was casting a suburban curse. The only issue? I was lounging on my own front steps, sipping steaming coffee in a USMC hoodie, wondering why this stranger thought she could boot me from my own home. I hadn't even finished my first sip when the chaos erupted. It was a serene Saturday morning in rural Tennessee. The sun had just started peeking over the cedar trees, dew glistening on the grass like nature's lazy stretch. I had my coffee, my dog Buster snoozing at my feet, and the soft hum of spring around me. Then she stormed up my driveway like a teal-clad tornado, blazer, clipboard, oversized sunglasses, and that telltale bob haircut, the kind that screams trouble before words even fly. I didn't know her at first, but that didn't stop her from charging in like she owned the place. "Excuse me, sir, you can't just sit here like this," she huffed as if my presence on my own porch was a personal affront. I blinked, processing the madness. "Morning to you too. Can't sit where exactly?" I waved at my steps. "This is a common-use community entry point," she snapped. I stifled a laugh. "Ma'am, I built this porch, nails, boards, the works. The hardware store sends me Christmas cards. This is my house. There's no common-use community anything here." She clicked her pen like it was a switchblade and thrust a paper at me. Comic Sans, gavel clip art, and nonsense about community enhancement restrictions with zero legal weight. "I'm the interim president of the transition board," she boasted, initiating compliance protocols. That line deserved a comedy special. I skimmed the sheet and handed it back. "There's no transition board here, and even if there was, you don't invent one and start finding folks." She leaned in, voice spiking. "You're non-compliant. Verbal notice of removal. Vacate the porch now." Buster, my old lab, growled softly, sensing the lunacy. I patted him and stood slowly, not out of fear, but to keep cool. Last thing I needed was her spinning a tale for the cops. "Not happening," I said firmly. "You're trespassing. 10 seconds to leave, or I call the sheriff." She smirked. "Good call. Call them. I'll do better." She yanked out her phone, speaker on, and a gruff voice answered, sounding like he was wrestling with a carburetor. "Wes," she barked. "Emergency. Male refusing to leave the entry porch. I need CGCA enforcement at lot 14 now." I raised a brow. "Wes?" I thought she was talking to a mechanic. "On my way," the voice responded. "Tell him we don't play." Loretta, of course, that was her name, turned triumphant. "See? Certified compliance officer en route. You're in deep trouble." I had enough of her community theater act. I texted my Marine Corps unit chat. "Not trying to evict me from my porch. Feel like a visit?" Within seconds, replies flooded in. 20 minutes, uniform or civvies. Flags. These weren't just buddies, federal agents, deputies, JAGs, firefighters, brothers I'd fought beside. Some owed me a cold one. As Loretta snapped pics of my house, muttering about non-compliant planters, I leaned back, sipped my coffee, and grinned. She had no idea the storm she had just summoned. 15 minutes later, Nate rolled up tall, barrel-chested, still in sheriff's gear from his shift. He climbed out, gave me a bear hug, then turned to Loretta, who looked like she'd bitten a grapefruit. "All good, brother?" he asked. "Just a transition board issue," I said, air quoting. Nate turned to her. "Ma'am, you got business here?" "I do," she puffed. "He's breaking porch codes." Nate removed his shades. "No CGCA here. Never was. Fake notices could land you in court." Loretta paled, but it wasn't over yet. 2 more trucks pulled in Evan and Troy yard, morphing into a Marine reunion. Loretta clutched her clipboard like a lifeline, frozen as my brothers filled the porch. Her eviction dream buried under badges and grit. By noon, the haze lifted. Sunlight flooded my steps, now the most fortified porch in Tennessee. Nate leaned on the railing, badge glinting, sipping my spare coffee. Buster snored in a sunbeam. You'd think that would send Loretta packing, maybe an apology, a retreat. Nope. She doubled down. I grabbed my mail and found Willow Creek littered with flyers taped to poles, bins, and cars. Emergency CGCA meeting violation at lot 14. Below, a blurry shot of me, coffee mug raised, Buster asleep, captioned, "Unauthorized occupation of community entryway." I cackled. The photo was potato quality, like a 90s webcam bust. Loretta must have burned the midnight oil on these. Nate skimmed one. She's playing dictator with a Kinko's budget. Her compliance officer, Wes, arrived in a rattling coupe, a for sale sign dangling. He stepped out, orange vest, cargo pants, security cap peeling, clipboard in hand, strutting like a mall guard with a promotion. Ignoring me, he cleared his throat. Sir, you're flagged for noncompliance. Siege CAC Guidelines, Section 3.2. Porch Occupation, Visual Discord. I blinked. Visual what? Harmony Aesthetics. He nodded, dead serious. Nate wheezed, nearly choking. You're slamming a Marine's porch fight? Wes flashed a gym card with Wes scribbled in pen. Nate's ID pal. Wes froze. I leaned in. Unless you're citing me from Narnia, take your board and roll that junker out before I call real cops. Wes glanced at Loretta filming across the street, mumbled about logging it, and fled his car, coughing twice before limping off. Loretta called actual police. Two cruisers flashed up, and she ran to them, phone aloft, shrieking about unauthorized males in military gear occupying public space. The officers approached, cautious but professional. I shook hands, explained, and Nate flashed his badge. Then fate's twist, the second cop tilted his head. Gabe Walshme Unit's old radio man, unseen since Kandahar. We hugged, brothers reunited. They huddled and faced Loretta, her jaw flapping as they laid out reality. No CGCA. Her trespass. My deed. She stormed off, vowing to go higher, but defeat shadowed her steps. Ryan grinned. You pick wild neighbors, they pick me. I laughed. That night, I dug into property records, zoning council notes. Bombshell. Loretta's CGCA was a myth. She'd filed a rejected HOA petition 2 months ago, listing herself as president. No charter, no votes, pure fiction. Crazier? She rented, not owned, her house. 3 noise complaints. A digging dispute. A lawsuit for beautification stunts. She wasn't enforcing rules. She was chasing control, faking power to bend Willow Creek. Smirking, I sipped coffee. She'd roped in Marines and lost. Sunday morning hammering woke me. Not neighbors, but Loretta, pounding stakes by my sidewalk, edging my lot. Curious, I stepped out, Buster trailing. She wore a lime visor, CGCAT proclaiming her as founding president. Clipboard slung like a rifle. Red tape linked her posts. A laminated flyer declared restricted zone boundary marking. You're zoning my land. I smirked. She marched off. Queen of delusion. I texted the chat. Operation Porch Fort go time. 3 rolled in. Mike, FBI with donuts. Tyler, fraudbuster drone humming. Evan, XMPP chair planted. Loretta returned, stunned. My porch a Marine outpost. 4 of us sipping coffee, chatting. No gatherings without Siege CA clearance. She yelled, You're scaring folks. Which ones? I asked. The muffin lady or the Facebook laughers? Her face rained. This is coercion, Loretta yelled. Mike stood. You're issuing fake fines, trespassing, impersonating authority. Want a federal rap sheet. She backed off. My lawyer's coming. Evan, tell him we're free all day. She fled, rattled. Her next move? West gleaming with Clara Halt, chalky, filming Porch shutdown orders. Wes boomed. I raised my phone. Round 2, on camera. Mike waved. Cease and desist fraudulent enforcement. State laws, harassment. Leave or sheriff time. Wes to Loretta. You said this was legal? She hissed. Hold ground. They bailed, muttering, sorry. Fate laughed. Loretta's car half on my lawn, blocked a hydrant. Tina Crane, ex-fire chief, called a tow. Loretta wailed as it rolled off. Illegal. The driver shrugged, leaving her empire in dust. Monday, an envelope hit. Loretta's small claims sue distress, military intimidation, $15,000 porch relocation. I forwarded it to Mike and Vince our jag vet. Vince laughed. No standing, fantasy CGCA. He countered. Deeds, trespass, clips, drone shots, neighbor affidavit. Loretta's planning post-court, tossed it in days. No siege CA. Respondent owns land. Loretta rallied 3 newbies. Signs like Stop Porch Takeover. Glitter pinned. Misspelled. A picnic, not a protest. I watch with Mike and Vince, sipping tea. Vince, they know it's fake. Scared to ditch her. I said, a real HOA's letter killed her. Loretta stole their logo, claimed mergers. Cease in 48 hours or sued. Her apology video. Rambling, misunderstood goals. Flopped. Her trio ghosted. One messaged, we were lied to. I raised USMC and US flags, steel pole, solar lights. Neighbors cheered. Tina teared up. Best in decades. Loretta's landlord, fed up. Clips, suits, complaints. Evicted her for conflict. She loaded a truck, weary, no fight, and vanished. Willow Creek bloomed waves, cobblers, porch chats. Colonel Amos Klein visited. Give a coin. Silent strength matters. I fence my lot. Cedar trespassers face owner or unit. Cookouts flared. Kids ran. Porch haven stuck. Drivers left notes. Simplicity. Sunset coffee warm. Buster snoring. Flag snapping. I toasted some. Learn the hard truth. Stand. Loretta fell.